everybody. We're back.
We're back. Like we never left.
Like we never left.
Did we leave?
Nope. Make sure you are following us first and foremost. Brunch Beauty Life Podcast on all platforms.
And if you want to send in your questions or comments or even topics or even letters with questions that you have for us to answer on the podcast, it is brunchbeautylife@gmail.com.
Brunch Beauty Life
Podcast, excuse me.
At gmail.com. We do have 2 emails, so make sure you're sending to the podcast email.
Yeah, don't send it to the other one.
So we can actually get it, read it, and respond because you want a response.
And also make sure that you are following us. I am Ashley at Naturally Ashley Rowe.
And I'm Connie, which is at The Inspiring Stylist.
The inspiring underscore.
They're going to see it under this.
Okay.
But I think by this point into all these episodes, I'm tired of all the underscore.
Yeah,
So,
I agree.
Yeah. So
I think we're just going to say just follow us at this point. But welcome back. And what we are talking about today, the subject matter, are we breaking up?
Are we breaking up or nah?
Well, we ain't breaking up.
I mean, I know we not.
We not breaking up.
You know, for those in relationships, business ships, situationships, are we breaking up? When is it time to go? So we're going to do things a little bit different for this episode.
So where's this coming from?
Let's see.
Well, I kind of actually know who that is or that podcast. It's Ace Metaphor. Yes. He has this deck, which I've bought a couple of his decks.
Okay.
The Tonight's Conversation.
Okay, I'm about to say, what's the deck?
He has the different cards where you have different conversation cards. I have the self-love one and have the ladies' night out one as well. I also know someone from college who is also a relationship coach. His name is Troy Spry. Shout out Troy. He's also now a client as well. He's also been on an episode for them as well. And basically they talk about different things, relationships, and all things dealing with Black culture and interpersonal connections between Black people.
Okay. So, well, we are bringing Ace Metaphor into this conversation. Hey, Ace.
Hey.
Unofficially but officially, hey. There's actually 2 that I saw, so I'm going to play one at a time, and we're just going to talk about it. We're going to add value to this conversation. So here is the first one.
Time to let go of that person?
Let me start that one over. Hold on.
Do you know it's time to let go of that person?
I don't have to stop loving anybody in order to leave them. I can love you. I can still want what's best for you. I can still want you to get therapy or improve. I can still want you to be happy in a relationship with somebody else. And I think what we have to do is, and I want everybody to note this, at some point, if you are expending more than you are getting back in return, it's going to deplete you. If you are in a relationship with somebody and that person is not serving you, that person is not giving you what you need, they're not reciprocating, it's time to go. Because people will tell you, when you tell them about your problems in a relationship with somebody that's clearly dysfunctional or the relationship is not progressing, they're going to ask you this question, but do y'all love each other? As if that's the barometer as to why to stay. So what I need everybody to understand is, it doesn't matter if you love them. Is it healthy? Is it functional? Does it pour into you? And if it stops doing that, then it's time to go. Because look, I can love you from way over there, all right?
All right. So part 1 of adding on to this topic. What do you think? What are your thoughts about what he said? First of all, do you agree or do you disagree?
I agree. There are plenty of relationships, and I pride myself on the fact that I actually am friends with my exes.
Are we saying exes in plural as like there's more than one that you're friends with?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I'm pretty much friends with all of them. I mean, you would have had to really do me slam dirty for me to not continue to be your friend. I don't hold grudges. But some of them depends upon how the relationship ended. It ended because it needed to end. Mm-hmm. So I'm still friends with a lot of them. And I still care about them as people and also wish them well and still love them to some degree, not necessarily in love with them.
Okay.
And still can do that from way over there. Mm-hmm. Like far, far, far away. Like maybe I'm in far, far away land. Like that far away. And still be happy and want them to be good. And, you know, I think that one of the things I caught on that felt like a strong point is that people will try to talk you to stay into a relationship that no longer serves you or the other person by saying, you know, well, do you love them? But, you know, as Tina Turner said, what's love got to do with it? And also, is love enough? Love sometimes is not enough. So, you know, I can definitely love you from afar. Mm-hmm. And wish the best for you. And I feel that in relationships as well as friendships, I've definitely had friendship breakups, and also professionally, I've had professional breakups as well. Mm-hmm. And wish the best for you. Don't have any ill will towards you. Wish that you continue to be great in all your endeavors. Mm-hmm. Just not here. Mm-hmm. Just not here.
Just not here.
No.
Mm. Well, I'm a savage. I'm a savage.
It says so on your shirt.
And it says so on my shirt and my shorts. I'm a savage. No, I'm not really a savage though, but it just
I mean,
it just kind of went, you know, with the flow.
You are classy, bougie, mildly ratchet, not even like.
Anyway, so
like
back to the topic. I definitely, so I agree to disagree. Okay. For me, where I agree is, yeah, if I'm in a relationship and this relationship is no longer serving me, then yeah, I can absolutely love you from afar. You know, there's a time on it, but there's no really set time. It's just a knowing of when it's time to go. So, you know, I might deal with not being fulfilled or not being or being depleted or whatever the case. I might deal with it for a couple of weeks. You know, I might deal with it for a couple of months. You know, I there's no necessary no set time. But what I will say is there's communication with that. Back in the day, they used to call me 30, 60, 90 days. You
should have seen Char's face when she said that.
They used to call me 30, 60, 90 days because it could end without notice. Within that 30, 60, 90 days, I might, you know, just know that this is not a good fit. And it wasn't even about being depleted or not fulfilled.
So you had them relationships on probationary period.
Yeah, that's how I earned the nickname 30, 60, 90. Because that's just how it came, 30, 60, 90 days. Oh, you made it 30 days? Let's see if you're going to make it 60. Oh, you made it 60? Let's see about 90. Oh, snap, you done made it 90? I don't know. You might be right. But even after the 90-day period, you still won't technically safe. Now, in the past, it would just be a breakup. Like, hey, you know what? This isn't working. I don't see this working. But I know that wasn't necessarily the right way or the best way to handle it. So now I communicate anything that I may be having issues with or things that I see. There's conversation. So I was in a really bad relationship in my early 20s. I was with a female, and it was her best friend that told me this, that's always stuck with me. And she said, hey, whenever you express yourself to a person 3 times in regards to whatever the issue you are having with them, if it's still persisting after the 3rd time, it's more than likely they don't care. It is what it is, and this is how they're going to continue to be. So she was telling me at that point I have to make a decision whether I'm going to stay and continue to deal with it or if I'm going to leave. So that's where that love, and I agree. Like, yeah, I could love you no matter what to the end of the earth or whatnot, but if it's not working for me, if I'm not getting what I need and there's been time involved, communication, so you know, I can honestly say, you know what my issues are, and you don't do anything about it, yeah, absolutely, I gotta go. Boom, right? But where I disagree, maybe to the extent, is I'm not married, but I feel like if I was married, then it wouldn't necessarily be that easy to just leave if I'm feeling depleted or not getting what I need. It wouldn't just be that easy. See, if I'm in a relationship, we're not bound together.
Yeah.
I could just leave. Bye.
Then leave.
We not married. I don't have that type of commitment. I don't have those type of vows for you. But in the event that we were married, I feel like it would be a little bit more to it than just, oh, well, I've been talking about these issues for the last 3 to 6 months, and I'm still feeling some type of way, so I guess I gotta throw in the towel and just love you from afar. That's the part of where I can just kind of switch it a little bit and just play devil's advocate and say I disagree.
So you feel that in a marriage where you are legally and spiritually bound to each other is not as simple?
Yeah, it's not as simple as word. I mean, people, I haven't met not one person, nobody that's been married for 10, 15, 20 plus years that didn't go through a period of something.
And I agree on that.
Okay,
I do agree.
Like they went through a period of something, because at the end of the day, you're still an individual. They're an individual. You got your highs, your lows, you got your good times, your bad times. So there might be periods of time where you are going through something, and you may not be getting what you're needing, and you might be really ready to throw in the towel. But at the end of the day, with a marriage, I mean, it's really not that easy. You gotta be set in North Carolina. You gotta be separated for a whole year and a day. I don't know what the whole point of the day is, but a whole year and a day before you can file.
So also check your state laws.
Yeah, check your state laws.
Check your state laws. And I definitely agree on that point. I feel that with a marriage, you have to be able to weather the highs and the lows, the storms and the not so stormy times. But I believe, especially in our relationships, in Black relationships, we stay too long.
Yeah.
We stay entirely too long. And I'm not talking about marriages. I'm talking about like just relationships. Like this is your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your significant other, whichever term you like to use. We stay entirely too long and trying to give chance after chance after chance. And so what I've learned for myself is that whatever I accept in any area of my life will continuously be manifested throughout all areas.
Absolutely. The way we do one thing is the way we do all things in different areas. Yeah, I can see that.
So, but what I've learned now in my adult relationships is communication is key. So I've had a relationship where our communication was top notch. So when the demise of our relationship was happening, was I sad about it? Yes. I was definitely sad. I had envisioned myself with a whole future with him and his family and everything, and it was very hard to think about the future I envisioned with him ending.
Do you think that's what kept you in a relationship too long?
Well, no.
Okay.
But I knew that there were certain points when we had great communication, so we ended up having a conversation that led us to fully dive into why the relationship needed to end.
Okay.
So, it wasn't anything new, I guess, to say, when we were having our breakup conversation and deciding to end our relationship. It was 2 years. I mean, I don't want them 2 years back. I enjoyed them. But, at this age, 2 years is a lot to give to someone, at almost 40. That's a lot to give to someone. So, you don't want to get to this point where you're getting of this age and it's like, okay, I've now given 5 years. I do not have 5 years to give anyone at this time. So I would say that not to prolong things or not to constantly like push and be like, oh, it's going to get better. And I feel like that works in all ways, business, professional, friendships, and relationships. The constantly like, oh, it'll get better. Acknowledging that it just won't get better. It might not. And what the phase that you're in right now may not be the same phase as the other person, and it may not ever get to come back into that same position.
And I think recognizing too in certain situations, let's say you're dealing with someone that has trauma,
Yes.
breakup trauma, they was in this long relationship, and whatever.
And I definitely dealt with that.
And I say this because I have been that person where I may have dealt with people, because it's not like it's just one. I have dealt with people that may have gotten out of a situation, a relationship, and and it was just like, oh, or they say things like, I've always been disappointed, blah 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 blah, people don't follow through, and it's kind of a low-key manipulation, whether they know that they're doing it. I mean, some of them might know that they're doing it, but then maybe somebody, to give the benefit of the doubt, maybe they don't really know that those words are manipulating. And so for a person like me, it almost, keyword almost, makes me want to be like, oh, well, I know I'm not that type of person. If I say I'm going to be with you, I'm going to be with you. And, I'm going to prove that, right?
Yes.
But then going to what he said, right? If you're doing this and you're feeling depleted, it's not reciprocated, that's just, it's going to drain you. It is ultimately going to drain you to a point where you just like, I can't continue to pour into you, because you're not even, at this point, you're not even reciprocating my energy. You're not even matching my energy to make, like, these are things I naturally want to do. But when you're not giving that or pouring back into me, it makes me get to a point where I don't want to do it.
It's just like what we talked about in the episode of Givers and
Takers. Exactly. Givers and takers. Like, you got to give to get and get to give. It has to be reciprocated. And when it's not reciprocated, it's just so draining. And so I've had to kind of learn that that's not my obligation. Because you've been through trauma, because you've been through this, because people have disappointed you, because people have let you down, because people don't say that. I come with a stipulation. Okay. I am here. I am your ride or die. I will be your rock and support. I'll be everything. As long as it is reciprocated, you are doing right by me. You know what I'm saying? Like, there is that as long as.
Well,
not to say that I have conditions on it, because it's really not about conditions. But at the end of the day, it is about being treated right and about being treated fairly. And if you're so hurt, so damaged, so broken, or whatever the case, I can't heal you. That's another thing that we think that, oh, well, you've just been in bad relationships. But, when you get with someone like me and you're going to see things that's different, it has nothing to do with you, boo. Absolutely nothing to do with you. If they are going through that is their own thing to go through, get through, grow through it. Now, you might be there and be a supporter. And hey, in some situations it may work. But if you're not being reciprocated or poured back into, it's more than likely it's not going to work.
Well, I am not a ride or die. I'm not dying.
I don't mean
I'm
it.
not dying.
I don't mean it in the literal.
I know. But also dying is in different places of, like, it doesn't have to be a physical death. It could be an emotional death, a mental death, a spiritual death. I am not dying, homie. Not at all. Not at all.
You know what? Wait.
I'm not dying, bruh.
Hold on.
I'm not dying.
Did you call me bruh?
I'm not dying, bruh. And also, I tell people all the time, I am not a therapist. That was not my degree. Mm-hmm. I did not take psychology. I am not trying to therapize you. I don't want to be your therapist. I want to be your support system. But I'm not about to be your therapist. That's not my job. My job is to support you in whatever you're going through. And a lot of people are coming to these relationships unhealed and wanting you to be their therapist, and I am not your therapist. Or they hire,
or they need you to make them, in a quote unquote sense, feel complete or feel better.
That puzzle need to be completed before you got here.
Exactly.
All the pieces need to be together.
You can't look for someone to complete you. Yeah, you can't look for this person to make you happy. You know what I'm saying? Because then you're putting too much on that person, and in the moment that person is not doing whatever you need to make them happy, then you're basically you're trying to fill a void, and you need to be able to fill that void on your own before someone can truly come into that picture.
I believe in enhancing each other's happiness. And the minute that we're not enhancing, that's just like some little little crumbs, little
Hold on,
breadcrumbs of where we about to go.
Wait a second. Let me play this clip.
Okay, so it's another clip again
For the
by
by
Ace Metaphor.
Hey, to the fellas, by the time a woman actually breaks up with you, you be like, she moved on so fast. It ain't so fast. This woman has probably been mentally breaking up with you for the last 6 months. You were just too oblivious to notice. So what I'm telling you is, when this woman is giving you the verbal hints that she needs you to change, take heed. Because the very moment she stopped trying to get you to work on a relationship, she stopped trying to get you to see the seriousness as to why you need to pay attention to the dumbass you doing, you gonna think things are getting better because she's no longer nagging you. Really, what that means is she is mentally checking out. When she stopped caring about the bull you doing, that's when you know you really need the mother change. And you gonna be talking to your boys. I mean, we ain't even got no problems no more. No, she just ain't saying no more. She is mentally breaking up with you. When a woman finally, emotionally and mentally checks out of a relationship, she gone, bro. Surprise. Say to the fella.
He's so silly.
And I 100% agree.
Yeah.
You know, we start packing bags in that mental before we start actually packing them bags.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it takes a lot. I feel as women, and I don't know, and I can't speak for men, but I know for women, we give so much emotionally, and we give so much mentally, physically, emotionally, that when we start seeing that not being reciprocated, then we start to do things to protect ourselves, which we have to. And I especially feel that with Black women, because we're always in such an unprotected state that we naturally have to go into a place to protect ourselves almost immediately. So I believe that's true. Guys, when you start seeing her not caring, not feeling, not doing, not be like, oh, yeah, oh, we ain't having date night? It's fine. I'm going to go with my girls. It's cool.
Hold on, time out.
She going with her girls, all right.
Hold on, time
And she's
out.
not even cheating. I won't even say that she's cheating. She's just gone.
Wait, time out. Just side note, I saw this little stick character thing, and the guy was like, hey, babe, I'm going out with the fellas. And she was like, okay. And he was like, I could go. And she was like, I said, okay. He was like, you sure? And she was like, okay. He get to the car. She looking in the mirror like, okay. And then he's like, yo, bro, I can't go out tonight. But anyway.
Because she didn't really mean that.
She was already over the relationship. But I mean, I agree. I agree because when I think about my relationships, again, I do communicate what my issues are, because I used to be the person that would internalize it, and you just wouldn't know until we broke up. You would have never known that these were issues until we broke up.
Did you internalize it? Because I feel like that is something that a lot of Black women do, is that we internalize so that we don't be the nag, that we don't be the hindrance, and we're not henpecking. And so we internalize a lot because we're trying to not always combat that image of us as being angry and needy and this and that, the third. Do you feel like a little bit of that was in there? Because I know for me that is part of it that was in there for me.
No, I wouldn't really say that was for me. I think I used to operate in a state of you should know. So it wasn't about nagging or any of that. And I'm not a nagger, or I'm not argumentative just in general. But I had to learn how to have a voice. But there was a point where I would just make assumptions like, you should know that this bothered me. If you ain't called me all day and by the time we talk it sound like I got an attitude, you should have known that it's because we hadn't talked all day. But then it's about communicating. And like I said, back in the day, I would internalize it. I just wouldn't say nothing. I'm like, oh yeah, this isn't going to work, and that was 30, 69 days and, a couple months later. But now what it looks like for me is, okay, month one, whenever the issue starts, month one, hey, I've just kind of noticed some changes lately, and, I will address what the situation is, what I have a problem with. I will also address specifically how it makes me feel, or what that does, And then 3, a solution to that.
Okay.
Like, how
You
can
can
we
work with that.
Yeah, so something that we could work on, because I can't assume that you know the solution. So let's say talking, right? Let's say if we are together, and even if we're just in a sense, quote unquote, dating, let's just say let's take a title off and we're not in a relationship. But if we are saying that we are interested, like seriously interested in one another, and we're focused on being exclusive and getting to know each other, I do have a certain level of, I have an expectation of a certain level of communication.
Absolutely.
You know, I'm not saying we got to talk on the phone all day long, and, you know, we hands on, so we can't be texting all day long.
Yeah, I can't text, but I definitely do.
But
like the
there
talks.
is a sense of making time for one another. So if you feel like you could go the whole day, 2 days, or whatever the case without talking to me, I'm going to have a problem with that. Especially if you seen I done called you and or text you. You know, because for me, and I would communicate, hey, you know what? I have a problem if we don't communicate, especially if you seen that I called or text you. If you can't answer the phone, at least text me back. My thing is, I just want to know that you're okay at a certain point, because if we've been talking consistently and then all of a sudden it gets a little inconsistent, I don't like to go in a state of worry. To like, okay, are you okay? Like, at this point, it's just like, let me know. So I would address like, hey, the communication is a thing for me. This is my expectation. Now, I had one guy, and he straight up told me from the very beginning, I expect to hear from you no less than 5 times a day.
Ooh.
And I need to be checking in with him periodically throughout the day. I ain't never had no man ever say that to me. And I was just like, okay, well, you know, maybe he's just, you know, he as a woman, we express our expectations. Maybe you're doing the same. So, I mean, you know, I was kind of trying that, but I was like, okay, you know, it's been about 2 hours. Let me text him.
I was going to say, well, funny, like, was you counting? Like, it was just like, call 1, call 2, call 3, call 4, call 5.
I mean, I did find, like, that I was trying to, like, you know, meet that expectation, you know, but then it seemed forced.
Yeah.
And I don't want to feel forced to have to do something. Naturally, this is what I'm going to do. I might not, you know, like, damn, I got to make sure I'm hitting you up 5 times a day, and we can't go no more than about 2 hours without talking. You know, it was just, it's about setting the expectation. It's about talking about it. But going just back to the checking out now, like I said, I communicate what my issue are. And after about 3 good times, after I have addressed that particular issue, if we haven't gotten nowhere with it, yeah, I kind of get silent, and I do start, if I'm used to you, because what they say, it take like 30 days to create a habit, 30 days to break a habit. So if we've been dealing with each other for several months, you have become a habit. You know, we've kind of factored each other into each other's lives. I'm not going to just say me making time for you, because, you know, obviously you made time for me. So I'm going to balance it out and say this is what we've been doing. So I may start detaching from that.
Yes, I agree.
And then by the time we break up, I said I'm a savage, right? So you say y'all still friends after a breakup. I mean, I personally don't believe in a friendship after, I want my husband, and I just really don't foresee me meeting my husband, my potential future husband, right? Mm-hmm. And me saying, well, yeah, these several past relationships didn't work out, but we still good friends. I don't really see that carrying into a marriage. Like, I see that being maybe a possible turnoff for my husband. So I mean, and then if we broke up, my question is, well, what point are they serving as a friend? Like, because I got female friends, or I could have platonic male friends that I didn't have intimate connection or relationship with. Like, I haven't been in a situation per se where I can say that us breaking up and then remaining friends would actually serve a purpose. Like, I would really look at, like, what is the point? Like, if it was maybe some type of business involved and I could use them for a referral or, you know, or whatnot, then maybe I would carry the business aspect on and detach from everything else. But if it's not that, I don't understand. So I can't speak on that part. So for me, it's like they will call me a savage because, and that I haven't been told I'm a savage, I'm cold-hearted. And it's just simply because after we break up, if this relationship, we could end on good terms. I would be like, I love you. I will give you a hug. And I wish you the best. I'm not going to rip your stuff. I'm not going to flash your tires, bust out your windows, scratch up your car. I'm not going to do any of the dramatic stuff. Hey, you know what? Okay, this isn't working for me or you. This relationship is ending. You come get your stuff, whatever the case may be. Hug, love you, and I wish you the best on your journey. I am the most peaceful woman you could break up with. It is so peaceful, it is unreal.
Well, see, okay, now I also think in context, right? Because, so what do you... Mm-hmm. Okay, I have a couple of exes. Like, we were actually friends first. Like,
and
friends.
So
the friendship is still there.
And
like one particular ex.
Okay.
Like, when we were together, I was starting my business and everything. He gave great suggestions. And we're really friends. So
how often do you talk to these?
But
friends?
again,
okay,
we're not talking and communicating like we do.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe like once a quarter.
So it's like a periodic check-in.
Yes, it's not. We ain't talking every day. Like, no, that's a full-blown relationship. But maybe like once a quarter that we do communicate because we were actually friends. Like, he's my friend. And I wish him well. Like, we actually talk about our dating experiences together. Mm-hmm. I talk to him about what I'm experiencing out here dating.
But what
he talks to me about what he's experiencing out here dating. I encourage him. He encourages me.
But what happens when you meet your husband and, you have to tell him about these exes?
I mean, I will, of course, those relationships will have to change. But
that's a whole nother topic. That's
I'm saying we're still friends. We're still friends. Because in certain relationships, there's always sometimes there's some that, there's an ex that just tugs on your little heartstrings. But for the most part, if I'm done, I'm done. Mm-hmm. So we're not exploring a relationship with each other going forward.
However, and this is just talk that I've had amongst other men and some views about females with male friends. You might be done, but are they really done?
Well, I can say in the instance of that one ex, yeah, we're both really done.
Okay,
we're both really done. We're really just supporting each other as friends.
Well, like I said, when the relationship over is over.
The love is no longer romantic love. Mm-hmm. It is strictly platonic love. Like, I wish him the absolute best. And
we break up, and you call me and try to check on me. My thought like, what you calling me for? What I ain't heard from you. What did you expect? We're not together anymore. So I mean, why would you hear from me? I'm straight. I'm good. I'm carrying on and I'm moving on. And like I said I get my peace and closure. I don't need nobody else to give me closure. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah,
and I'm not saying that it's about closure.
Yeah.
But for me, I just be like, done. Like, it didn't work. It's like, okay, it's over.
So
I might I get it. I might have one or two exes, and they might check in periodically. And when I say periodically, I do mean maybe once every other year. You know what I'm saying? It is not throughout the year. It might be every other year. And, and it might be a quick, casual Facebook message, hey, how are you doing? Or, I might have posted something. They might comment or whatever the case. And boom, that's it. It don't even make it to the phone conversation. It ain't even a phone.
Maybe I'm an anomaly. Like, what is, maybe my ex is just still.
I mean, that's fine.
Like
I mean, we all, listen, we all got our different perspectives
but that don't mean
and
I
our
like
viewpoints.
Them. I mean, I'm not checking for them. But, maybe, like I said, I don't have any ill will, and I'm still going to be a good friend to you. If I had one ex recently reach out and told me that he was starting a new journey or venture in his life. Mm-hmm. And I was happy for him. I'm excited for him. I told him, I wish you good luck and you got this. Mm-hmm. But he reached out to me. I mean, and I just sent him back a friendly message.
See.
But nothing about it says hit me up to restart. I'm not trying to restart.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe that might be his way of filling you out.
Well, no, I can wish thee well. Like he said.
I love you from afar.
I wish thee well from afar.
And you know what? I think sometimes, because I do get put in that category, oh, you cold-hearted, it's because this is how I choose to deal with you after a breakup. I choose not to, you know?
Yeah.
And because I don't keep that friendship lines open or whatnot.
You know
I
what?
mean, what?
Maybe for me, it's because I am so guarded, that because when someone has gotten through my guard mm-hmm. and has gotten me to love them, mm-hmm. I will always care because they got through the guard. And especially if they didn't damage me. I mean, but either way, when we done, we done.
We done.
And when it's time to move on, yes, we have already unpacked and moved on, and mm-hmm. we've packed our bags mentally, even though we might not have packed a physical bag.
Hold on, I got to touch on this one part when they be like, oh, she moved on too fast. No. Because we've been done. Let me.
I just ain't told you yet.
let me just say, by the time we have verbally ended things, it's probably been over at the minimum 30 days, a month, 2, maybe even 3 months. Because by the time, the mental process and the detachment, I've learned to figure out how to detach very quickly from a person. So I'm not months and months and months and months or years in and the relationship been over. No, like at this point it's over and things haven't changed. Again, not a marriage, but a relationship. You know, I'm done and I'm detached, and yeah, I got the right to move on. I'm not doing a rebound. You see what I'm saying? Some people
be quick to call it a rebound.
Yeah, some people go into the whole rebound because they were never really over the breakup to begin with. More than likely, they won't even the one that was doing the breakup to be over and done with it. They got broken up with, and now they trying to hurry up and quickly rebound. It's not a rebound. If I'm saying I'm done, I'm done. And when I get into that new relationship, or not even necessarily a new relationship, when I start talking to the new person, I don't want to talk about this person. I don't care. You know.
To wrap it up, when Connie is done, she's done, homie. And she been done, bruh. Whereas for me, I'm still gonna be your friend.
And I'm not.
And both methods are fine. So, maybe in the comments you can tell me about.
Are you team friend or team no?
Are you team done or are you team friend?
Done.
Well, again, if you like what you see, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Subscribe to us.
Follow us on everything Brunch Beauty Life Podcast.
Okay, again, I'm Ashley. You will see all my stuff down there.
And I'm Connie, the Inspiring Stylist.
And we'll see you next time. Bye.